Hello and welcome to the Filth and Vermin Bookmakers Roadshow, the programme that keeps you up to date with everything that's happening in the off-course bookmaking industry. My name's Rob Flint, as one of two we made, which was Sick and Corrupt Bookmaking Industry Exposed, and with me today I've got Mike McDermott once again, who was with me last time. We're here today just to follow up on what we did first time round. One or two omissions. We didn't put a few bookmakers in which we didn't leave out purposely, just that the show was going on so long that we didn't get round to putting them all in, and we thought we'd just do a follow-up. It's slightly different to last time. There's a serious side, there's going to be a bit of a mickey taking side, and there's also going to be awards and trophies which can be won by what we'll tell you. Mike will explain that to you later. There's some t-shirts here which can be won. Just very briefly, Boyle Sports, Sky Bet and one other on there, and there's also a couple of copies of mixed books Speaking with Forked Tongues which can be won at the end of the show. Anyhow, as I say, it's a follow on to last time, and we hope you enjoy it, and I'm sure that you will. With the feedback we got from the first one, it was obvious that a lot of people found it amusing and entertaining, and we're here today just to follow up that one. So without further ado, I'll just pass you on to Mike, who wants to say a few things, and we'll get into it. Good afternoon, Mike.
Hello, Rob. Hello, everybody. Yeah, just to update on that, one or two other things. At the end, we'd like to suggest ways in which you can help again. We had a lot of emails, tweets incidentally, commenting upon the last programme. A lot of you sent information about closed accounts and silly restricted bets. We are forwarding a lot of this information to an interested party who is working on it, maybe with the idea of putting together a story that could work in a national newspaper, but that's a little in the future. At present, we'd like more information from you, more input if you could. And so where are we going to start? I think it might be a good start to have an examination of this Ladbrokes life that I've become part of. It's
suddenly sprung on our screens, hasn't it? Every time you see an advert on at the races, this is the Ladbrokes life.
Yeah, but I feel invigorated now because I've become a part of it. Really invigorated, feel a new man, 20 years younger. Right. I realised the benefits of being part of this.
Do you feel like you know these guys? Do you feel like you know them?
No, I don't feel as though I know them. No, they're a bit out of my age range. Well, I wondered what a woman sitting at home might make of it when she tried to explain it to a 12-year-old lad what the Ladbrokes life actually meant and what the benefits of it were, Rob.
And another point there, of course, there's no women in the advert.
No women whatsoever. No. I think, which is pretty sexist. I think Ladbrokes could be in trouble with his ads. I really do, because those women, what do they expect the women to be? Are they completely excluded from the Ladbrokes life? It's like this Boko Haram. Ladbrokes are maybe an offshoot from Boko Haram. And women should be at home doing the ironing and making apple pies while the blokes are off getting the bets restricted in the shops. So I'll try and be this mother explaining the Ladbrokes life to a 12-year-old kid at home. It's probably like this. I would say that what you do is you go in a shop, and what they want you to do, these people in the shop, is sit on the machines and take all your money. If you like a bet, they like to restrict you, and you can sit on a tacky wooden stool that you wouldn't let a monkey sit on if you want to pass the afternoon off, because they don't shell out any money on producing items of comfort for people in the shops. You can get scammed on phones and made to bet horses that you don't want. So this is the glamorous life that Ladbrokes is trying to suggest that we should all be leading. What I find appalling, Rob, is how they can get away with this, how this passes advertising standards, this complete utter shit, this complete bollocks about the Ladbrokes life. Unbelievable.
Well, I do have to agree with you, Mike, on that, yes. I find it strange that it could just pass a standards agency like the form it's in now.
Well, I for one am going to complain to advertising standards and say, what is this garbage that we're inflicted with on television? What is this Ladbrokes life? What are the magical qualities about being involved in the Ladbrokes life? Complete, utter nonsense, and I can only repeat how it gets past the standards agency is absolutely beyond belief. But I would expect that they could even have a lawsuit. You get people like Sammy Chakrabarti, who's always on the telly. She'll have a knickers in a twist about women being excluded from the Ladbrokes life and be mortified, be frothing at the mouth, wanting to take them to court. Well, you get on with it, Sammy, because it's complete bullshit. And why should women be excluded and made to sit at home while all the men have all the fun? Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. So that's the Ladbrokes life, Rob. As you know, a lot of people sent emails, and I've been looking at Twitter over the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, I realise you've been very busy on that.
Yeah, I've picked up a lot of bets that we could call heavily restricted. It adds further credence to our view that betting on horses with bookmakers now is just a sham. No interest in it. You don't have to be a professional gambler to be closed down or restricted. You can be anybody who maybe bets a couple of shorteners and then that's curtains. I've got a few examples here that people sent me of restricted bets just out of interest. 28th of March, Friday the 28th of March, Betfred offered the guy 70p at 14 to 1. Bert the Alert in the 2 o'clock at Lingfield. The guy only wanted 25 quid, so they offered him 70p. They also offered another guy 25p each way on Sire de Grugy for the Queen Mother.
25p each way?
25p each way.
For the Queen Mother?
For the Queen Mother, 25p each way. Yeah.
Jesus.
Another guy trying to access a couple of bets with Coral. He actually was quoted by the woman on the phone, this horse at 25 to 1. It was Uncle Pettit running on the 31st of March. He asked for 50 each way at 25. She referred it and came back, said he could have 50 each way at 16.
At 16? She's quoted in 25?
Quoted in 25.
Disgraceful.
And then later on, this same guy asked for 50 quid at 8 to 1 Duke of Gaisley. I can't remember where that was running, but I got the proof of the bet. And he was offered £2.50 each way at the 8s. What's going on about these bets, Rob? I picked up on a tweet from Tony Calvin, the other Racing Post guy.
Yes. Is he the
Betfair guy?
You see him on TV time to time. Quoting what's going on on the exchange.
This is the 13th of May at 9:26 precisely. Tony Calvin put this tweet.
Right.
If books don't stop these ridiculous bet limits that your mother would stand, they'll drive punters away from the sport. Never been worse. They're his words.
Well, they're his words, yeah. Well.
And later on, that tweet was taken off.
Right.
I don't know for what reason. Maybe he thought twice about it. Maybe somebody said, I don't really think you should be putting that on Tony. But for whatever reason, it mysteriously disappeared. But that is absolutely the truth, that he put that on his Twitter account.
Well, what he says is true as well, Mike, because what he says about his grandmother taking the bets, I mean, some of the bets that you're restricted to, your grandmother would take, wouldn't she?
Oh, it's absolutely beyond belief, absolutely beyond belief. There was one guy said he was offered a bet of 2p by Bet365. There's no verification of that, but it wouldn't surprise me, because you know what they're like. Once they sniff out that somebody knows what they're doing, you're down to £1.50 and 2 quid.
Yeah.
Another guy said that Boyle Sports virtually closed his account inside 10 minutes. He asked for 50 each way at 10 to 1. It was offered a tenner each way, so it's virtually closed. This is this guy's first bet.
The first bet on a new account?
First bet. And yet this organisation of complete filth, Boyle Sports, were given what amounted to free advertising in the Racing Post. Did you see a full-page article in there devoted to their guy John Boyle? Yeah,
they're going to take over England or something.
Yeah, well, they're going to come to England, and I reckon if they come to England, it will be the worst thing to come here since the Black Death. And that was pretty bad. That's a long time ago, Rob, the Black Death. And we've had the Luftwaffe since then, but Boyle Sports come in. Now that would really take the biscuit. Who the fuck wants boil sports here? What are they going to do? They don't take bets. Boil sports. Every time I hear that phrase. But you'll like the boil sports t-shirt.
Yeah, very good.
You'll be able to go to a midweek meeting. Anyway, Robin, I don't think you're getting that Royal Ascot with it.
No, probably not. No, but it is one of the prizes on offer for later, Mike.
Very nice, and it's got a lovely logo on the back.
I did forget to say, by the way, there are a couple of trophies as well.
Yes, we've got 2 trophies to award. One is the Filth and Vermin Silver Trophy, which will be awarded.
Excuse me.
Is
here, of course.
To the bookmaker who we consider most deserving of that award. And this one, this lovely little item, Rob. It's like Antiques Roadshow.
It's good, isn't it? It's good, isn't it?
We should have invited Fiona Brooks, shouldn't we, just to show these things. Beautiful trophy here.
I think most of yours look
This is the King of Bullshit award. And I believe that Paddy Power were 8 to 13 Giovanni.
Really? I thought they might price it up.
Yeah, I think there were odds. I think he's a pretty warm favourite. Followed, I think Shinners was about 11 to 4. Simon Clare 7 to 2. Williams about a 5 shot. He could be interesting at 5 to 1 because he's a smarmy bullshitter, isn't he?
Yeah, he could be under the radar.
So I think the latest betting we had to win the Filth and Vermin Trophy, they were co-favourites of 4 3 to 1. Boyle Sports, Stan James, Skybet and Coral. That could be close because
that could go to the wire.
Oh, there's so much vermin there, it's difficult to choose between, Rob, it really is. Anyway, just to carry on with a few of these bets, a guy wanted £100 at 25, Mourinho to be next Manchester United manager. This is Ladbrokes, he was offered 50p.
50p?
50p, and Mourinho was never going to be manager of Manchester United.
Jesus.
Crazy! 50p! See?
That was Ladbrokes, you say?
That was Ladbrokes, yeah. Paddy Power offered £8.64 each way, calm before the storm. 7.20 Exeter in response to a request for 50 each way. £8.64. Big shots, Paddy Power, eh? God almighty. And then just listen to this. Listen to this for complete bollocks. 28th of April, 5:30. Rory Giovanni announced that Stan James had taken 2 4-figure bets on horses at Windsor that evening. Giovanni. 4-figure bet, Stan James.
Still seeing money, Mike.
Dear, oh dear. He's not far off the nursing home, Giovanni. Why should it be? Where is the logic in a situation that Stan James is doing 4-figure bets for people when I've got now over 90 emails, account numbers, names of people who've been closed down? You've only got to look at Odds Checker for Stan James. Their prices are the last to go. I was looking at something yesterday, Rob. They were 12 when everybody else was 7 and 8. They're just standing out at 12. Nobody got a count for them. I mean, this guy is beyond the realms of bullshit. It's untrue, really is. Next, we've got one from Hills. Guy in Exeter contacted me. He wanted 70 quid. This is at 5 to 4. My 10 to yours. Now,
the
Scottish Champion Hurdle. Now, obviously, Hills had taken a view that they didn't like my 10 to yours at 5 to 4. And in my view, in my opinion, I might have taken that same view.
Yeah.
The guy who's known to him in the shop, who knows what he's doing, wanted 70 quid at 5 to 4. He went to the bloody phone. 70 quid at 5 to 4.
Did he actually get the bet?
He bollocks. He came back and they offered him 20 quid. So he told him to fuck off and he wouldn't come in the shop again. This is Hills. Big shots Hills.
On the Scottish Grand National Day?
Yeah. Absolutely appalling. There's a bloke in London tweeted me that he was going more miles than the Jarrow marchers around London to get bets on. He was worn out because I imagine by bets he was calling 100 or in excess of 100 quid because he'd been pissed off by all his normal outlets.
Right.
This is no doubt the Ladbrokes life again. The sheer joys and wonders of the Ladbrokes life. And another guy in the north of England contacted me. He'd had, not necessarily in his name, but he'd had over 600 accounts closed in 6 years.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was at his wit's end. He was now down to the local vicar and his grandma as last options to try and get bets on. And you know, the vicar wouldn't have been bothered on a Sunday, wouldn't he? So he was buggered for betting on a Sunday. And his grandma's in a nursing home, so
I think he is in trouble.
But he came up with a plan because his son was in the army, in Afghanistan, and he had this idea of getting him to go around the villages, see if he could get them to open accounts around these Afghan villages.
Oh, like Elmond and all this.
Yeah, in Elmond province, all around there, offering him 150 quid. That's wrong. But do you think Fred Dunn would have been suspicious if they'd have been phoning up or getting on on the laptops from...
If he could get a fixed odds betting table over there, he'd have a shot.
Yeah. Anyway, with Cameron pulling all the troops out, that buggered that up, so he's not going to get anybody from... But he did get a bit of interest, Rob.
Yeah.
There were a few people, said that they might well be interested. So this is what it's like trying to get a bet on now. We mentioned in the last little conversation how appalling it was, and I think from emails sent to us, it's even worse, Rob. I think people have to start dressing up to get bets on, to go into shops in disguise.
What would you suggest, Mark?
Well, maybe somebody could start an outfitters, with disguises to get into shops. That might be one idea. I think the Scarlet Pimpernel, he'd have probably got on with it.
I think you might have a chance, actually.
Yeah, one day he appears in Blackpool, and the next he's in Southampton, and the next he's in Wales somewhere trying to get bets on it. Yeah. See him here, see him there. One day he's dressed as Genghis Khan, the next in women's underwear. Would he get a bet in with? If he went in women's underwear, do you think in a Betfred shop, do you think he'd get on, Rob?
Not in Claycross.
No, nobody gets. That's the village of the damned, Claycross. Fuck me drunk. That's Claycross should be given independence, shouldn't it?
A bit like Scotland.
Cut it off. We could maybe start a movement for independence for Claycross. That'd be a good idea. And also, I thought if you got dressed up in Muslim gear with a burqa, well, I don't think you dare ask you to take the burqa off. If you went in and asked for 50 each way, wrote it out on the counter, do you reckon they'd tell you to?
Oh dear, not thought about
tricky,
that one.
because Muslims don't bet, do they? They might suss it really. Just an idea anyway that people might try and dress up to get on.
It's not a nice thought though, seeing you in a burqa, Mike. That's not a nice thought.
No, I did see me moustache. You'd guess my name won't Fatima, I think, if you saw the moustache. Well, this is the future, the slippery slope to the complete pits that we're in, and I honestly think in 5 years' time, Rob, you need a doctor's note to get a bet on in some of these shops that all your local shops will say, look, as from 1st of January 2020, you need a doctor's note to come in here. So you go to the doctors, and there's different certification categories. There's category A, not very bright or astute, category B, semi-retarded, and third one, this guy, this bloke, is a complete wanker. So I think if you're category C and the doctor signs you off a category C, then you possibly get a bet.
You got a chance then.
Yeah. Yes, this is the future, Rob. Yes, it's absolutely appalling, and there's no real difference between a lot of them, are there? The empires of filth, they're no different to Al Capone and his empire. No. The only differences I can figure out, Rob, between Fred Dunn, Ladbrokes, Chandler, and all the rest of them, is Al Capone and his mob had machine guns.
Yeah.
And he had a scar. That's the difference between Fred Dunn and Al Capone. Al Capone had a scar. So why do we say that? Well, Al Capone paid the coppers to keep them quiet. And who would the bookmakers pay? You pay their MPs. How many MPs are on this fucking gravy train, Rob? Yeah. We know that Philip Davis is on the gravy train.
We mentioned Mr. Davis in the last one, didn't we?
Some other wanker from Leeds, I think, who was on the gravy train, pictured in a hill shop saying they were doing wonderful work and how they were making sure people gamble responsibly. My arse, they'll be making sure.
I must admit, I didn't see that, Mike. Who was that? Can you remember?
name is Morris, I think. I can't categorically say that he's on the payroll, but there can be no other reason that he's going around there touting that. And so bookmakers pay the MPs, they keep the papers quiet. Millington says nothing. Well, it sums it up. Millington was prepared to put in that full page for Boyle Sports, for Christ's sake. And if Millington knows the slightest thing about racing, it is that they do not do bets on horse racing. What they do with a restaurant, I ain't saying.
No, I've no idea.
They're the biggest filth of the lot, aren't they?
They're useless, absolutely useless.
You pick that up from Twitter, from Betfair blogs, from talking to other people who you know, from talking to somebody at a cricket match who's had a Boyle Sports account and they pissed them off after 2 bets. It's beyond belief, and to think that they're coming to this country, and he's got a business plan, this guy.
Yeah, got a plan, yeah. It was going to take over England or something.
Jesus, oh, Brazil. Oh dear, the future. Right, anyway, Rob mentioned at the beginning, and some of you had picked up on it, that there were 3 bookmakers who we'd not really examined last time. To be perfectly honest, we were getting a little tap from behind because it was thought we might be going on a bit too long, and we'd not had time to deal with 3 of them here, who were Paddy Power, Hills and Chandler. Now, you had that funny episode with Paddy Power when you couldn't get a bet on and you were demanding that your account was closed. And what did you say about your date of birth, Rob?
I can't exactly remember it 100%. It's a couple of years ago now. I was trying to bet at horse at a Nottingham evening meeting. Let's say 18 months, 2 years ago. And only 50 quid each way. And they came back and said you can have £10 at SP or whatever it was. And I said, oh, I'm not going to keep messing about, ringing you up and being made to look a fool. Just close my account. So they said, what's your date of birth or something? So I said 24th of the 12th, 1961. To which they said, no, that's wrong. So I said, what are you talking about? I know my date of birth. So which they said, your date of birth is 24th of the 12th, 1898.
So they got you out to be about 116.
Yeah, so I said, that can't be right, because that would have to make me about 114. But they wouldn't do anything about it. And so the account's still open, basically.
Yeah, so that's probably a ruse used to make sure that you can't close it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to take the piss and suggest that you opened this account with Paddy Power when you were about 104. Good old Paddy Power. Oh dear. Masters of bad taste, aren't they? Really?
Yeah.
Betting on Pistorius trials and things like that. I said to the tweet, Rob, I asked them if they got any prices on how many dead there were in the South Korean ferry disaster. And they never replied. Which is not on.
Did you think that they thought you might know something?
Well, I did, to be honest. I thought I counted up everybody who'd been on the plane, and that's what I was going to bet. So I'm being shrewd. But I think they thought that 2 or 3 might have been eaten by sharks, and it would not be proven. There might be some rule flaws or whatever. They'd be funny about it anyway. Yeah. But they're a show. They're wind and piss merchants, gimmicks and bits of nonsense. And I'll tell you one thing about them. If you know your stuff and you want to bet on overnight prices, if you bet with these, your account won't last 3 bets. You bet something overnight, and they might do you a bet at first. They might do you 100 each way at 12. If that starts 6, you are goosed. Yeah. End of story.
Good night, Vienna.
Absolutely good night, Vienna. So, yeah, they really are appalling. What they do with casinos and the rest of it, I don't know. Although I have heard that they're an absolute nuisance, text messaging on mobiles and get involved with this football and casinos and the old crap. And even the gimmicks at Cheltenham, money back on this and money back on that. If they can get 200 or 300 people signed up on accounts, so what's it cost them? Sod all. Yeah, it's. So I'm afraid we can't even give any credit marks to Paddy Power, and this is my favourite, Victor Chandler, or whatever he calls himself.
Oh, I know, he is one of your all-time favourites.
Yeah, well, what about this one, Victor Chandler? He closed an account for somebody before the first bet had actually run. This person had a bet, I think it was £125 each way, at a decent price, about 12 to 1, 8:30 in the morning.
Right.
By lunchtime, the horse was a 6-shot.
Right.
The person tried to get another bet on just after lunchtime.
Right.
And was told that the account was closed.
That's before the horse was run?
Before the horse had even run. As it turned out, the horse was placed and was excellent place, wasn't it? Yeah, that's old Victor. Oh, Braveheart. You'd want Victor on your side in difficult circumstances. Yeah. Like,
you want him in trenches?
Yeah, well, landing on the beaches in Normandy, you'd want Victor on your side. Lordy. Yeah, what a Braveheart. In fact, if you don't think about it, Rob, with Bravehearts like him around, we'd probably have the Germans here, wouldn't we? Me and you would have Schmitz and whatever else we might be. And instead of the Victor Chandler Chase, we'd be having the Hermann Goering Memorial Trophy at Cheltenham, or the Ava Brown Mare's Hurdle. That sounds it's got a nice ring to it. Yeah.
Slipped off your tongue, that.
Yes, it's. I think that, and then we could have one after Hitler at Aintree. Rather than the Topham, after Hitler. The invasion of Poland Memorial Trophy, that sort of thing.
While you're on about Victor, what do you make of his adverts, by the way, Mike? With Morris, his friend Morris.
Appalling, aren't they? Third-rate garbage. And what annoys me is that little nod that Victor gives you, little nod of reassurance at the end of the advert. Come into Victor's lair, come and play a bit of fun with Victor. Oh, my arse, it's a bit of fun. Oh, dear old it. I honestly think, Rob, that 150 years ago, Dunn, Chandler, some of the rest of them had been hanged as thieves. Strung up. I can't honestly. What's the difference? I felt to see. In fact, it'd make a good day out, wouldn't it, to hanging Fred Dunn and Chandler and a few more. But book a town, a place where, not London, that's too posh. Book to Rotherham town centre to.
Well, you take a packed lunch for you, won't you?
Oh, day out? Oh, that'd be wonderful. How much do you think tickets would be for a day out like this?
Well, they'd be hard to get, won't they?
How much would you pay for a day out like that?
Well, as things are going now, how much it costs to get in a race course or a football match, you'd pay 50 quid, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd pay more than that. If I could set off from here to Rob, get a train, early morning train, just to soak up the atmosphere and watch all this riff-raff on chains being led through Rotherham town centre. You could have a few minor stars to hang at the same time as well. Some of these MPs and Baroness Uddin who chisel over 100,000 and pay
a few tax evaders.
A few. One of my, this has nothing to do with bookmakers, but one of my favourites is Lord Hanningfield. He'd be on these chains. You could have Sam Cooke singing chain gang music, loudspeakers out in Rotherham. As all this riff-raff was being led up to a scaffold. Now Lord Hanningfield, apparently, he signs on in the House of Lords. Just signs on and fucks off home to watch bargain on 200 quid every day.
I'm afraid of this one.
Well, if my maths are okay, that's about. I don't know if there's any business in the House of Lords on a Sunday, is there? Well, Lord Hanningfield would be pissed off if he's not, wouldn't he? 200 quid a throw.
Do you think if you got bet Fred to the gallows, do you think that Paddy Power might quote prices on the last words he spoke?
I'm sure they would. I think. Let me think. Fred Dunn on the scaffold. Last words. I think it'd be. Right, all you bastards who've turned up, your SP only. Or, we know this from Derbyshire, people who didn't listen to the last conversation wouldn't know that in certain shops in Derbyshire you need a passport or a driving licence to get a bet on. So I think you might shout in, have you brought your passport? You bloody locked down there. And Chandler, I'm certain that Chandler would say, have I got a couple of moments to close a few more accounts before I die?
Let me send one more email.
One more email, just send it off, somebody who's had 4 bets. I think it would be good fun to have some celebrities there at this big day out. Because you could make it a day, Rob, pie and peas, and you have Manchester United and Chelsea on and hang them at half time and get rat-arsed after the last train. Wonderful stuff. And I think just as they were about to hang Fred Dunn, I think maybe you could get a guest like Katie Price Jordan used to flash her tits at him before the hangman's noose went round.
For it timed.
Yeah, and some of these others, Maria Miller, you could hang her as well, chiseling money off. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. How many could you top in a day, Rob, with Biff Raff and cheats and
I think my 50 quid were a bit of a low quality.
I'm sure it was. I reckon you'd fill Rotherham. And yeah, Maria Miller, you could dispatch some of these people early on in proceedings. Their last words would probably be, God save David Cameron, long live David Cameron. I can imagine that to go down while in Rotherham. He's shouting, fuck off, this is Rotherham, not Oxfordshire. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, go, man. That'd be a lot of good fun, really. In fact, I've got an idea how we might get it to happen, because you know these MPs, you can buy them for a few bob.
Yeah, you can backhand them.
I mean, there's that guy Patrick Mercer who's getting 20,000 to represent the fishermen in Fiji or some bollocks. Standing up like a boffin in the House of Commons representing some load of nonsense. But yeah, I reckon £100,000 to these MPs, I reckon you could buy them off and get them to convert to Islam overnight. So then what you do, they could introduce a private members bill.
Right.
And you know what they think about betting on that sort of evil, innit? Boozing. I mean, there's that guy, what they call him in London, wanting all the pubs closed down. I can't remember what they call it. But I don't think he'll succeed in that, or in getting all the pubs closed down. Yeah, I'm losing a train of thought here now, getting all excited about these things. Yes, so the next day you could have a private members bill. You could send out a posse looking for Dunn and Chandler, and by 2 weeks on Friday you could organise this thing in Rotherham. But they'd all buy into it, these MPs, because I reckon you could buy half of them for 100,000 quid. Certain of it.
Well, they've certainly got no scruples, have they? That's for sure.
Yeah, good old Victor, what a star. And then, of course, Hills, who we never really gave much time to last time. Well,
no, we didn't.
I'm going to be fair here. Many people watching this little conversation will think that fairness is not uppermost in our thoughts. But I think Hills are a long way from the worst.
Oh, definitely.
They're not in the scumbag section like Boyle Sports and Stan James and Sky Bet, are they? They will play the game to some degree.
Yeah, that's fair.
For starters.
They will lay you a bet.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, obviously, people who know what they're doing will get their accounts restricted. You may get them closed if you're particularly successful, which once again proves the point that none of them want to entertain any winning clients.
No.
None of them.
No. I do think with some of the other shops that, well, certainly a local one, the area that we mentioned a little bit earlier, Clay Cross, they do try to oblige if they can. Most of the staff there are pretty decent, and they are actually friendly and polite, and if they can get you a bet, they will get you a bet. So Hills aren't the worst, Mike, I wouldn't say.
No, there's one or two bits of interest that it amused me. I've got past being appalled by a lot of this. I'm more amused. Hill's Chief Executive Officer Ralph Topping.
Oh yeah.
Well, at the time when things were red hot with the fixed odds betting terminals, and it looked like something would be happening of a serious nature to restrict stakes on them and to, as it turned out, to increase tax. He said, and it wasn't given much publicity, he said that if bookmakers weren't allowed to carry on dealing with the machines in much the same way as they have been for years,
right,
then bookmaking would not be able to be financed in the same way as it had in the past. And, note this, that thousands of horses would have to be put down.
Right. Racing.
Race horses would have to be put down because they couldn't sustain the financial involvement.
Right.
Now, can you believe that such claptrap that this guy's going to turn up at Nicky Henderson's at 10 o'clock at night saying, right, Nicky, we've come for Sprinter Sacre and my tent to yours, and Nicky Henderson saying, oh, I'm sorry it's come to this, Ralph. It really is so sad that you can't. Yeah. And then, yeah, well, if it's come to this, then Ralph, yeah, it'll have to be done. And I suppose you'll be on your way to Paul Nicholls afterwards. Yeah, we're going down there, kill a few down there, Nicky. And all this complete bollocks was printed virtually nowhere. I picked up on this on Twitter, and it circulated a little bit on Twitter. This bird brain. Now, if it had been carrying on with statements like that in Victorian England, they'd have carted him off to Bedlam. This bloke's completely gaga.
Yes, he'd have been in the nut house.
Dear, oh dear, dear. And nothing in the Racing Post about this madman, this man who was rather stupid with his choice of words. Absolutely nothing. Dear, oh dear. Anyway,
where are you up to now then, Mike?
Well, I was going to go on to a bit of machine news.
Oh right, yeah. Well, this will be news to me as well, Mike, because I've not been following anything much about the machine.
Well, I'm not focused on what's happening necessarily with the machines. My focus is on the betting, but I've kept up to date with what's been happening. I know people are generally disappointed because not much appears to have happened.
No.
To be changing anything. Recent pronouncements by the government seem to indicate that there's not going to be a great deal of change, and you've probably noticed a difference in tone. There's nobody scurrying about with petitions to save our local bookies at the moment.
No, I heard about that. Was that popular, by the way?
Oh, Coral apparently got 1 million signatures.
1 million?
Yeah, well, I never knew that Coral staff have got 1 million relatives. Sign a petition.
1 million?
You didn't sign a petition, did you?
No. I know a friend of mine didn't. He told them rather abruptly what to do with the petition.
Oh, well, we're not
going to have that.
Was it a case of shoving it somewhere?
It was, yes, it was going to disappear somewhere.
Yeah. Is there such a thing as a local bookies now, do you think?
Not for us.
No, they're off town centre, so the local bookies thing is a room.
Well, there's no independence left, are there? No. Not for us.
And what do you want to save them for? Because people like being you are not going to bet in lots of shops around here, so what do we want to save them for? Is it for these buffoons and people with problems on machines to keep all these people filthy rich, to feed Ladbrokes and keep an army of bullshitters in the posh houses in Buckinghamshire and Surrey and countryside in Sussex,
Well, the closest place to us, Chesterfield, of course. It wouldn't bother me if they had closed a lot of them. The whole lot.
Yeah, the whole lot. If you close 4 in Chesterfield tomorrow, it makes not a blind bit of difference.
No.
Apart from there be 16 or fewer machines. Well, that's the difference, as we all know. Yeah, but nobody cares. Government don't really care. Government's getting their cut out of it with the tax and revenues from licences and all the rest of it. If you went back in time, old Queen Elizabeth used to take her cut out of pirates and their escapades raiding Spanish treasure ships. Just the same now. The governments are having their cut out of all these bloody pirates running these theft empires. Fred Dunn, I know we keep picking on Fred Dunn, but for me it's like the clown figure. He's a bit more of a figure of fun. He's a focal point, isn't he, for people taking the piss.
They call him Bald Fred on the Betfair blog.
Yeah, I know he takes an awful lot of stick on that Betfair blog. But yeah, I wonder if there's bearing in mind this connection between government taking the cut out of things. I wonder if Fred Dunn maybe related going back to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, on the illegitimate side, I don't think he could become king, could he? No.
I'd like to think so, wouldn't he?
Is he in line? Where is he in line? Is he about 8,000? So, we can sleep easily.
I think we can rest assured
we'll not be getting executed.
You'll never make it.
Tomorrow. So it appears that it's all going nowhere. The bookmaker pressure now for petitions to save the shops, it seems to have died. They did get a bit worried because I saw a bloke on Breakfast TV. He was talking to the guy from Campaign for Fair Gambling. His name is Matt Zarb, cousin. I think I've got that right. I apologise if I'm not. And they were having a discussion, and there was the breakfast TV BBC bed, Charlie State. I can't remember which of the women it was, but she knew sod all about it, so she got kept pretty quiet. But the guy from Ladbrokes, the fat-faced arsehole, I don't know what his name was, I can't remember anyway. But it was pitiful to watch him riding away there and suggest that, well, Ladbrokes had realised after all this time that there were problems in certain cases with people losing too much money, and they wanted people to gamble responsibly, and they were going to put notices in the window about gambling responsibly, and they were going to train staff to maybe have a word with these people who were doing the dough on the machines. I would put a consoling arm round them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and ask them if they were alright. They'd lost 300, and ask them if they wanted to carry on. It's touching, isn't it? That's really that.
It's bringing a tear to my eye.
I felt that, well, when I heard that, I felt that Ladbrokes had found God. That you could see the little human side in Ladbrokes. It brought a tear to my eye, I'll tell you. Well, Charlie State, you knew that he thought he was talking bollocks, because he said, well, what difference is it going to make if you've got a member of staff go up to, let's face it, some of them might be pissed off a rocker at 9 o'clock at night. Some young, frail, lightweight 23-year-old girl goes up to some yob and says, do you think? And he says, well, fuck off, what's it got to do with you, how much money I put? So that's the reality. So nobody really dealt with the realities. So once again, government raking off, bookmakers robbing people blind, creating social problems. In fact, I get pretty pissed off with the poor, the pockets of the poor being raided by all this filth. There's that picture, you saw it earlier when I showed you the picture on Twitter. You got a Betfred shop next door, you got a payday loan
the money shop or something,
Absolutely appalling. So maybe we could have some of these payday loan merchants hanged at the same time as some of these others, get shut of a lot of shit and ram all out of the country at the same time.
Why don't they just put one of these, why don't they put the payday loan shops inside the Betfred shop?
Well, that, Rob, is coming. I was going to raise that point because I did some research. It's not like me to do a lot of research at my age.
Only on a few handicap hurdles.
Yeah, with a bit of horses. I just prefer to get on the bike and go and watch a bit of cricket and have a few pints. I did check on the background to these machines, and one of the brains behind it, a guy called Teddy Saggy.
Right.
I'm not too sure whether he was born here, but he's now a real entrepreneur, and comes from a bit of a shady background. He's done time in jail for, I think I had it written down somewhere. We'll see if I can read it. It was for bribery, deceit and some sort of fraudulent activity. It was in the Daily Mail, I can't remember. Yeah, it's here for insider trading, grave deceit and bribery. So he's not really like Archbishop of Canterbury's son, you know. No. And his half-brother's a convicted murderer. So, you know, not this moral compass that runs within the family, so to speak, is it? And anyway, this Teddy Saggy, when he came out of jail, he decided that fortunes could be made in the machines and how to rob people, and with internet porn, or porn in general. So I wondered that had the machines not been there, I wondered if Fred Dunn and all the rest would have got involved with the porn. So my vision of betting shops a few years down the line would be, let's say you walked in another 15 years, you could have Mutley Cross on one screen on the dogs. That creates excitement. Hundreds of people queuing.
They're clamouring to get on, aren't
they? Portman Park next door.
Another one,
then you could have Chelmsford City, because that's going to be on all day. I reckon that'll start at 8:30 in the morning and go on till midnight. Chelmsford City, some more shit so that Fred Dunn can try and tap a few idiots with a few bob. Then on the next screen you can have some porn, you could have some shagging on the next screen, some group sex. But to keep the racing in it, you could have the women dressed up as jockeys, you know, taking bits off at a time, and the clerk of the course there with his, you know, think that
with his going stick.
We'd better draw a line at what might be happening there, aren't we? Yeah, and then after you've gone past the shagging screen, maybe you can find what else do they have in there? The cartoon stuff. Oh, harness racing.
Yeah.
That
I know you like that, don't you?
Massive interest. Yeah, I called in there out of the pouring rain one morning on Saturday, and he got the harness racing on. So, good God Almighty!
In fact, have you ever seen that car racing? They had car.
Yeah. Dodge. What they call it? Something Valley. Valley. Oh, Lord Almighty! Lord Almighty. But anyway, I think the real change is about you're going to be cash machines where if you've done your dough on the machines you can put your card in and get some money, but only if you pay the charge, pay a fiver to get some money. Then next door there'll be a Wonga counter because they'll have a tie-up with payday loans people. So if you've lost 300 quid and want to raise a few bob, you can see them. And if you've gone through all these processes, I think then the final counter is you can arrange to donate your kidneys and liver and get a Betfred nurse to assess you, and just check, and you get about 300 quid for selling your liver and kidneys and whatever else. And I think that's the future of betting shops.
You should have a few of your own, why?
Few what of my own, Rob?
Betting shops.
Betting shops. Dear, oh dear, yes, that's the way we're heading, Rob. The future, the absolute pit, complete scum and filth. No bets on horse racing.
Of course.
Things that you can rip people off. Government continuing to rip people off and showing no interest, no moral concern of any description. Absolutely none. And this mafia, this Al Capone outfits, carry on with bullshit like the Ladbrokes life. And I want somebody from Ladbrokes to explain what this Ladbrokes life is. I really do. I'll tell you what this. To explain the Ladbrokes life. Explain it to an 18-year-old kid. And as I mentioned, I'm going to advertising standards. I don't mean as soon as this is finished, because I'm going to have my dinner. In the next couple of days, I'm going to advertising standards and say how did this filth get away with this absolute garbage. Absolute utter garbage. Just one or two more little tidbits here that I've picked up on the emails and other stuff on Twitters and blogs. There was a postman apparently who was done for raiding people's letters to fund his machine.
Right.
Yeah. And what he's going to find in letters, I don't know, because people don't send money.
Cash, do they? No.
And then this one amused me. Sir David Jones, a former chief of Next and a JJB chairman, was in court over a fraudulent loan of $3 million to fund gambling debt. Now you imagine if he'd run that up with Boyle Sports, how many bets he would have needed to have had.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
At £1.25 each, or Sky Bet. Oh dear. Yes, that's I think brought news up to date with machines and the future of betting shops and grand theft and no progress whatsoever, and the descent into Armageddon and utter filth and degradation, and where a moral compass has been completely thrown away and people are just left to rip off the poor. Yeah.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. Anyway, Rob, we're on to more pleasant things now, because we've got trophies.
Oh, is it awards time?
Yes, it can be awards time.
Right.
Now, me and you know who's won, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Because we've done this based upon what we think, but there's also been input from other people. They didn't know there were going to be awards, but it was a close call. Well, the King of Bullshit Awards wasn't close.
Well, when you quoted 8 to 13, I would have had some. I was going to have a bit of that.
Yeah,
but seeing as you're a pal of mine, I didn't like taking money off you.
Yeah, so we'll present that in a moment. But the other thing was tight, wasn't it? Oh, because all the filth and vermin that there is to chew, it was absolutely.
It was like trying to pick the winner of the Grand National. Really.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got a citation here. This is for the Filth and Vermin Award. The citation reads: "For consistently operating to the standards of the sewers and behaving in the manner of slime-ridden, diseased rats, the winner is Coral.
Oh.
Coral.
Well,
You show that trophy, Robert. But if Simon Clare wants to contact us to pick up this award,
Simon, this is yours.
First Filth and Vermin trophy, silver trophy, let me add. Yeah. Pure silver, is it that, Rob?
Yeah, very good, yes, quite heavy.
I'm bullshitting like Rory Giuliani now.
Well done, Coral.
Yes, well done, Coral. Give a clap. Go on, give a clap for Coral. It's well deserved, that award. And I think the thing that clinched it was this concentration with emails on getting people to get on the machines.
Right.
And you always said that you've got to ask and maybe look for them.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy in the Midlands who was starting a business. I don't know if he was getting a government startup grant, but he was going to supply coral with nets so he could go out and hook them in. And there was somebody else I knew, this is clever, was going to start like a coral private army. Right. People who you could dress up in uniform. I think it might be best if they were nuns, and you could go around an area looking for people in town centres and say, would you like a cup of coffee and a bun? And come with us. And, you know, if you were dressed as a nun, they might well follow you. Drag them in. And there's a seat there for you.
You trust them, don't you?
So, oh, what's this? Well, it's a little machine that you can have a bit of fun on. Yeah. So I think that's a clincher for Carl. So
I think the way they winners, Mike. Now you put it like that. I think I can see why they won.
It was difficult because I mean Boyle Sports. When I say that they'll be the worst thing to come to this country since the Black Death, I really mean that. I can't see the point of it at all. It's like importing dog shit, isn't it? Audience, what's the point?
Yeah, well
we might do that. All the ports might be full of containers with dog shit. Oh dear. Right, do you want to announce this award?
No, you carry on, Mike, because you've got the
beautiful trophy
with you. So I think I'll
an absolutely stunning trophy. The winner, the King of Bullshit Award, the very prestigious award, the very first of its kind in this country. And boy, oh boy, there are lots of bullshitters in this country.
There are plenty of runners.
Oh, do you know, we wouldn't really, if this was a countrywide thing, we wouldn't have known how to sort of winner. But as we're limited to the bookmaking world.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Mike, just pretty short there, this guy is the Frankel of it.
Oh, this guy, and what Stan James have seen money for. But anyway, we'll still stand by our offer. If you're going into a nursing home and to try and recover from all these ailments about seeing money and seeing this and that and seeing the ghost of Jacob Marley and visions of Jesus catching a bus in Scunthorpe, whatever else he's seeing, this is a lovely trophy. The first ever King of Bullshit Award, Rory Giuliani. If you want to contact us, I know you cut me off on Twitter, you blocked me because I kept asking you why Stan James closed so many accounts and you didn't answer. If you want to contact us, then this beautiful trophy is yours. And I think, Rob, if we can just show a t-shirt.
Yeah, sure. Oh, there's your friend.
Yeah, we've got three t-shirts here. We could have had all the lot done, but I think me and Rob have bet a couple of losers recently, so we couldn't afford.
We've had a sticky time with it, Mike, haven't we?
So we've got three. We've got a Sky Bet one, a Betfred, and a Boyle Sports, and we've got logos on the back. Should we tell them what the logos are? Rob, do you want to read the logos out?
Yeah, it says Betfred, I'd like to, but he closed me down.
Right, that's one.
Sky Bet, doing our best to decline your bets.
Which they do. That's an excellent logo.
And Boyle Sports, as much use as a dose of pox.
Well, I think that's most apt, don't you? Really.
Yeah.
Now then, 3 t-shirts and a book.
And the book.
Flash that
and
book.
The book, yeah.
I'm giving away 2 copies of Speaking with Folk Tongues. What we want from contributors is to send either tweets. I'll give you my Twitter account. It's at mickmcdermott79, or by email mickmcdermott79@outlook.com. I'll tell you those again in a second or two. But what we want you to do is to suggest your logos for any of the major bookmakers.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be those three.
No. Any of them. We think that of the 9 who they can pick. So we don't want any independents, but any logos that you could put on the back of a T-shirt. So just to give you an example, Coral on the front and Peddlers of Filth on the back. Anything like whatever. So you come up with your own. I suppose you can make it as rude as you want, and there'll be 3 judges, because a lady sitting behind who you can't see called Dawn may help pick some of the winners of these T-shirts that are going for free. And I think you can wear them anywhere with pride, Rob.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, yes, could. Possibly not Royal Ascot.
No, not Royal Ascot. But I also thought that maybe, rather than all these boring ladies' days that they have every 3 days somewhere, you could have a filth and vermin night.
You could,
dress up as rats. And,
It's not a bad idea, that, actually.
Do they have these fancy dress costumes as rats?
Yeah, definitely.
They all turn up at an evening meeting at Towster somewhere central, dressed as rats and dressed in T-shirts of Coral and Sky.
That ain't a bad idea.
Well, I think that could catch on. It could be a good day out, nice and sunny, and playing peas and some ale and dressing up as rats.
Can't think of much better.
No. So I think that's bringing it to a close, Rob. We hope you've been amused to some degree by this. It's not really that we're doing it to amuse people. We're doing it in that way to show how pathetic this show are. An absolute utter disgrace. Taking people down an abyss into zones that are unthinkable, where people are turned off any interest in racing purely so these people can carry on robbing people on machines, and making sure that the Racing Post keeps quiet and saying, here's your fill, Bob, out of it, keep your mouth shut, we'll carry on robbing people and we'll keep chucking some crush your way. So I'll give you the email address and the Twitter address again if you want to win these exclusive T-shirts, the only ones in the country.
They're not cheap, by the way.
No, they're not cheap. No. Finest cloth that North Derbyshire can produce. So the 3 T-shirts and the 2 copies of Speaking with Forked Tongues, which incidentally you can purchase on Amazon. My email address once again is mickmcdermott79@outlook.com. Twitter address is at mickmcdermott79. So one or the other, and we're giving people 2 weeks to qualify for winning these awards. After that time, we'll pick the winners and we'll contact the winners directly. If we ever do another one of these shows, and who knows, we might.
We could possibly do a Christmas special, might we?
Yeah, well, not a Christmas special. We could invite Victor Chandler or Fred Dunn to appear. Why not? Put their point of view. Yeah, it would be nice. And Fred Dunn dressed up as Santa Claus, singing carols.
It'd be certainly better than that Bet Racing Nation.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Anyway, we'll not go there.
No.
Yeah, I think that's about what we've got time for. I think we've said our piece. We've tried to be amusing here and there, but it is a serious issue.
Absolutely.
And we want people to not ring us. No, not to ring us.
Our technical director's
maybe somebody trying to get a T-shirt already, Rob, with a text message. Yeah. You never know to qualify for one of these T-shirts. So remember, it's a logo of your words for whichever bookmaker. Tweet it, send us an email, send us emails or send me emails about all these bookmakers closing your accounts still, because we're trying to do something about it. If we can't stop them doing it, we can at least embarrass them. So. Agreed. Thanks for watching, and that's about that, Rob.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.